morning. Good morning. Welcome to another Fiberific live craft and chat. Well, it's morning for me. You guys know the deal. I'm over in Australia. It's Thursday morning here for us. So if you are not here in Australia, toss in where you are from. Toss in your time zone. What time is it for you? For me, it's still quite early. Well, it's 10 o'clock, so I'm drinking tea. I've got my T2 tea, so if you can hear me, if you can see me, you guys know the drill. Welcome to the chat, everybody who is live in the chat, and welcome to all of you who are watching the live replay. Let me have a quick squeeze here. We've got Spanner Chick in the chat. She is our mod for today. We may have some other mods pop in. Basically, Spanner Chick will make sure that you guys don't be cheeky, nasty, rude, any of those kinds of things. But also, she will be able to throw in links, which is great. Nobody else can toss in links except for mods. Spanner Chick says it's 10 a.m. where she is too. Well, okay. So good morning from PA's at US states. West Drum is Pennsylvania. I could be wrong. I'm sorry. Good morning to everybody. So last week during the live craft and chat, I was trying to work a pattern while my brain was not, there. And it was quite amusing because the second I got off live chat and sat down and read the pattern, I worked it out. It was just one of those things. My brain that day just could not concentrate on like all the things. So for a live stream, it's watching the chat, it's checking the technology, it's making sure the stream works, all this sort of stuff, plus whatever I'm doing with my hands. And last week my brain just couldn't do it. I was still just that bit too sick still to really, like, I was feeling a lot better, but my brain was just like, yeah, nah, it's not happening. So I got off the live chat and sat down and worked it out. That's exactly right, Spanish Chick. Multitasking was not my friend. So I ended up making up some of these beautiful squares, which I'll show you shortly. And I'm loving this. But what I decided to also do was start a second project with the same yarn, if that makes sense. So last week's discussion was based around whether what I could use some scraps for, because I'm doing all these rainbow sock kits at the moment, and at the end of winding off all the mini skeins, there's always like these little sort of little bits left over that are under 5 grams because the mini skeins are 5 grams. And so trying to work out what to do with all these, like I've got tons of, like, here, I have a whole bag. This is all scraps from the 2018 rainbow sock kits, as well as leftovers from projects. And these are scraps from the 2020 rainbow sock kits. So I'm a hoarder. I don't want to throw away perfectly good sock yarn if there's something I could do with it. So I started working on the Batternberg Blanket, which is the crochet blanket. Link is in the description. And I also started a second project. Now, both of these projects are going to be worked at the same time and possibly while I do other things. These projects don't have a time frame. They're scrap projects, which means that I'm going to continually just keep adding to them until I'm happy with whatever size I get, or until I get bored. So 2 projects on 1 yarn, is that possible? Well, sort of. So basically I have one pile of scraps, but I'm going to make 2 projects out of it. Now, in saying that, for both of these projects, I'll be using some natural, that's really blown out, some natural undyed Pegasus for it, to sort of pull all the colours together. Sometimes with crazy scrappy projects, they get a little bit too muddled for my brain. So I've worked out both Batternberg and this other project had options for a single coloured border, so I've gone with it. Game Widow says, I think I need to send you a proper project bag. Game Widows, I do have some project bags, but I tend to just use, like, poke things in whatever. I'm not the poster girl for project bags, I can tell you that right now. Freaky says, no time frame projects are the best, there's no stress involved. And that's the thing, I wanted something that I could work on at my leisure. And that was the other problem I had. I've got a couple of really cool projects that I'm still working on as well. So my Star Wars blanket that I'm still working on, but the actual blanket stitching through like multiple layers and wadding, that's a little bit hard on my hands, and sometimes I'm tired and I'm not feeling the greatest, and I just want to sit back with my feet up on the couch and just craft. And I found that these two projects are perfect for it. So I'm just going to drop down into my camera view, double camera. So this is the Batternberg that I'm working on. So most of these colors, let me just check. I think most of the colors that are in here so far are just scraps from the rainbow of the blanket, of the sock kit. So this is the sock kit rainbow here. I'll just move this aside. So these are the 14 colors that you get in the rainbow sock kit. What have I done there? 5. So these are the 14 colors that we get in our rainbow sock kits. And so there was all these, like obviously all these little bits of leftovers, and I wanted to find a use for them. They are too cute to not use, right? So I am doing scrappy projects with them. So I'm keeping these aside. This is the 14 squares of the blanket, of the sock kits. So I'm keeping those as a little batch. I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. They're just being kept, not used. Okay, so they have a little house here in my basket. So, Sandy made it. Yay, Sandy! Welcome to the chat. Jody, what Arne and Carlos do is take the scrap yarn and split it apart into the single ply, and then crochet little mini afghans for their dollhouse. Wow, that is some serious hardcore stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of splitting plied yarn, honestly. But this is only 4-ply, so, you know. You did offer to do the blanket stitch for me. You are right, but it's one of those things that's like I really just want to do it myself, but I'm just going to go slow. I have no time frames for these projects. So so this is where this one's at. But last night I was working on some more squares, and these are just some random colors that are not part of the kit, that are just leftovers, like from previous things. Is that pastel? I suppose it is sort of pastel. Yeah, I would probably consider those a bit more pastel than jewel tones, but they're very cute. Mostly, this, like the red's not really a pastel. That purple is probably a little less pastel than pastel. So this is the colors that I've got. So I'm going to be adding on some more of the cream squares and filling out through here. And what I'm going to be doing is, because I do go, okay, I'm bored now. I'm going to try and keep 2 straight edges and just sort of keep those as square as they are, to do the final edging around them, and just sort of grow out like this. So sort of like grow this way. And that's what I plan to do, is just to, you know, keep doing that. There's a hair there and I'm just trying to pull it out. Come on. It's definitely one of mine. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with that one. But I'm also, so this is the Batternberg blanket that you guys told me last week to work on, which I'm in love with. So thank you for that suggestion. Now the other project that I'm also working on at the same time. Now I realised that the original name of the project made it sound like I do literally work 2 projects at identical moments in time. That's not my intention. I'm sorry, I have renamed it. So I have got, because, you know, some people are project monogamists. I mean, I'm not that. I've never been that. So, but the other one after that, like while I'm working on the Batternberg, is sometimes I like to knit as well. But I still wanted to use up these, here we go. I'll show you the back of this. I love the little boxy joins. They're great. I think they're so cute. It's just going to be gorgeous. Anyway, so the other project that I'm working on using the same yarn is the Vivid Blanket by Tin Can Knits. So I've only got, I did have 3 done, and so I'd done one in the purple because, you know, I couldn't help myself. And I thought I'd woven in all the ends. The purple had extra joins because I'd run out of purple sort of part the way through. and joined on. And I went and trimmed all the ends thinking that they were all woven in, only to realise that there were 2 that were not woven in, and it unravelled. So yeah, there's that. So I have these 2 and I'm currently working on the blue one here. So and that's coming up really pretty. I'm really loving it. And this is another one of those projects, look, you know, it is knitted lace, but it's not tricky knitted lace, and it's a really good little taste of colour. Now, if you want, you can continue on with your colour. In all the photos that the designer made of the pattern, she continued on. But I saw some people went with the option of creating a border. I really liked that option, so I'm going with that. Jane Vandenbroek is also knitting the Vivid at the moment. Go Jane. So we're just checking in the chat here. Hi everyone. Hey Bob, how are you going? The mustering has finally finished. Awesome. Like a corner to corner with squares. Awesome idea. I do similar thing with hexagons. Yeah, and it's kind of like I just decided to do it that way. And Ida's crocheting a kangaroo stuffed toy. So my next thing is, do you guys really, like I hear a lot of people talk about how they, you know, the little ends that you trim off, like do people really use those for stuffing? Because like, I mean, I've been dumping them, honestly, just putting them in the bin. But there just seems to be a lot. So I don't know, like I think using colour for stuffing is weird, but do you? And how do you use it? Like do you put it in like a stocking or something so the little ends don't poke through and destroy your project? I don't know. Sally Schilling, welcome to the house. Freak says, yes, I think I've checked it out once before, much like tatting, but not. I think I missed something here. Definitely relaxing, feet up and a coffee. You need to do that sometimes. You need to. Go away, little ant. Well, you've learnt not to, you know, join a Zoom, a live chat from this end. Game Widow says she does use them for stuffing for her Christmas decorations. And Ida says, I don't use ends for stuffing. I'm scared they'll come out. Me too. Me too. Like they'll poke through and you know, trash what you're working on. Like, does that happen at all, Game Widows? And that's why I haven't done it. And it does feel like I'm trying to use up all the little bits and bobs so there's no waste. And yet I threw out this massive handful of ends, you know. So my nose is itching. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm going to pop that one aside because Vivid is not a free pattern, guys. I highly recommend it. The instructions are fantastic. Not a free pattern, so I'm not going to work on that one while we are live. And Batternberg is a free pattern. Jump over, download it, grab it. I'm not going to be doing this as an instructional video. I have not contacted the designer to ask permission, so I will. I've got another hair in here that's driving out. Does everybody else crochet their hair into their projects? And like, seriously, why do I have to crochet it into the white bit? Like, out of all the bits, the white bit. Come out, little hair. Where are we? I do have one suggestion with working with colours and whites though. It's a good idea to give the coloured yarn a wash before using them with whites so you don't have any problems with colour bleeding. That is truth, Alison. Now, I know I've already washed all these, so I'm okay with these because all my colours get washed before they get skeined. But I highly recommend that you double check for yourself, especially when you're going with reds. Double check for yourself just to give yourself some reassurance because I use a little bit of Tan-Tech, delicate wash. If you use something else, it could react with the dye and actually make it bleed. I know of somebody who used a lot more Tan-Tech than I do, and all their colours leached. There was something in it that drew the colour out. But it turned out they used quite a lot, and it was actually well above the recommended amount. Whereas I just used 20 mils in a bucket, and that does like tons of skeins. But yes, always just especially reds and your darker, deeper colours, just double check them just for your own peace of mind because that would be horrible. You're right. If an end is long enough to tie a skein, I keep it. You can also card yarn ends into fleeces to spin into interesting yarns. I never even thought of that. Use it like a bit like a purposeful net. I use the ends to stuff amigurumi, and the stitches are so tight the ends don't poke through. That is brilliant. Guys, I really need a tissue and I don't have one. My nose is itching. It's not running or anything, it's just itchy. It's driving me out the wall. Hey Leanne, welcome to the chat. Kim reckons she's delicate and she should use Tantec too. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Leanne, have you taken your phone off the hook? Poor Leanne gets a phone call every Thursday, right when live stream happens. So yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is, one of the things I love about this pattern is that you can just. Oops! My microphone just fell off. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. That was weird feeling. Let me tell you that right now. So yeah, one of the things I love about this particular project is that if you're in like a crocheting mood, you can just go through and crochet all your color and just keep going and just keep making heaps and heaps and heaps. So, you know, I did, because that's what I do. And you know, like I had a little skein that had like a couple of the same color. Now I'm not gonna. These two are technically different colors, but they're so similar that even with a white in between them, I regret my decision of placing them that close together. So, you know, I'll put one of those over there and one of those over here, and I'll, even though this is a very different green to both of these, I'll still place it further afield. Same deal with this, even though it's a very different orange, I'll make sure that it's, you know, away. You know, it's one of those things, because I am just doing it as I go. Sometimes I'll just need to crochet and pile them up until I get some color between them. So those ones are okay, like that's all right. So I'd probably place that one there. And I really want to break these oranges up, so I'm going to toss in some blue over there. But yeah, but one thing I wanted to do was, I haven't finished weaving in the ends on some of these guys. So I've got my little chibi tapestry. Now I have ordered more chibi tapestry. I'm currently out of stock. And my supplier is in the Victorian lockdown zone, so they're not actually shipping at the moment. So I just have to be patient and wait until I can get resupplied. It's a little frustrating, but I will do that. Go and get a tissue, we can wait. It's just itchy. I just have to, you know, not scratch my nose, really. Let me have a look here. If you made all the scrap squares first, you could arrange them more easily. You could, but I would actually probably end up not making anything, to be honest. So I join them as I go, so that even when I get bored, I will have a project of some description. So where's my little scissors? Little scissors for snippages. Yeah, so like, you know, I've got a tail now that's got to be like binned. Do the other tail. I've already bagged them all. What are you bagsing? I don't know. So I missed something in the chat. This is one of the things about actually, crafting during the live streams, is sometimes I miss things that go on in the chat, and I'm just like, that's not fair. I wanted to see all the things, and I do have my live chat selected, not my top chat. So if you're watching the live stream and I respond to a comment and you're like, what? You might have top chat selected, so just double check that you've got live chat so you can see all the comments that are coming through. Oh, you've bagged all the chibis. I understand now. Sorry, thank you. What to do with those scissors? They're right there in front of me. Gosh. All right, so we have a green one. We have some of this beautiful purple that I can't replicate because I only wrote down half of the recipe when I dyed it up for Mystery Lace Club. Don't even start on me. I know. And it's such a nice purple. So if you happen to have gotten your hands on some of this one, you are very lucky. It's kind of where Violetish came from. I was trying to replicate it, and I don't have any. Do I have any Violetish here? I was trying to replicate it and couldn't quite get it. It's very similar, but it is not the same. It doesn't have the same depth to it. This is definitely lighter. And then Damie Lou came from Violetish. But yeah, I thought I'd taken all the notes, and I was so proud of myself and this Mystery Lace Club that when it had 2 colours and the other colour, which was a much softer lilac-y kind of colour that went with it. I wrote down how to do all of its steps, but for some reason with the brinjal, I did not. You do this to us time and time again, not writing down the recipe to the things. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. I think this is the last one that needs an end woven in. I just want to get the ends done. The good stuff, yeah. I think you meant the good stuff. That's all right. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is some of the things that I've restocked into the shop this week. As I've been getting better, I've been trying to catch up. I'm a bit behind with a few things. So if you're waiting on Mystery Lace Club, it is coming. It is ready to hit the dye pots now. All tagged and ready. I've just got to get some time. Which will happen tomorrow and then shipping Monday, hopefully. And also I'll be dyeing up August's next week. So they'll be about a week apart in the post, but I don't want to hold this one. I want to get it out the door. So, yeah, if that makes sense. So we've got those coming shortly. But one of the things I did was during the big wool show, some people pre-ordered they pre-ordered Leo 2, which is my beautiful kid mohair and silk base. Now, you guys know I'm allergic to half of the planet, and I react to just everything. But I do not react to this particular kid mohair silk base. Now, there are some that I do react to, so I was very dubious. But I don't react to this one, and I love it. It's so soft and delicious. So I did up the colours that I needed for the pre-orders and realised we haven't had a new colour released on the Leo 2 in some time. I normally have lots of colour releases for Bendigo, but I didn't have a Bendigo this year. So I hadn't really sort of planned any colour releases, which is dumb. I know, I do get it. So what I did was I sat down and had a little think over a cup of coffee. Just double checking they're all in. Yep. And I decided that a colour we needed on Leo 2 was Joss, which is my pink. Autocorrect is mean to you, Kirby. Oh, you and me both, honey. You and me both. Where are we? Hey, Marion. Welcome to the live chat. It's been ages since I've seen you. Hi, Leslie Grant. So what I've done is I have made a beautiful soft pink in the Leo 2. So it's currently on the web store and it is currently available right now. There's only, I think there's 5 skeins up there right now, but I do have some more that I can dye. So if you want some more, you can. But while it was hanging and drying, it was hanging next to Mist. And I was just in love with these 2 colours together. But I don't have any projects for 2 mohairs. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm used to holding a mohair with a 4-ply. But I haven't really done 2 together. So I don't know. But anyway, I thought I would share these with you. But I also have got some Pretty Lake and some Violetish. And so they're all in stock in the web store. So it's first in, first served. If you want to go and get your hands on some pretties, you can go and get your hands on some pretties. The pink is a bit like a fairy floss. It really is. And I like those 3 together as well. Their tones really work together. I think the purple is probably a little too bright for the pink. That's a personal preference. You do not have to agree with me. There's no rules. This is colour. And so, yeah. But I'm just like, I've had these just sitting over the side, like there's just the 4 of them just sitting there, and I just keep touching them. Also, I just put it away, but I have an undyed one that looks amazing. I'm going to see if I can get it. Hang on. I shouldn't have put it away, should I? Ah, here we go, here we go. Some beautiful natural cream. So I'm just like, man, I need a project that just uses all of these. Because I need more projects in my life, okay? I wonder if I could do that beanie that Deb did with the Leo 2 held with Pegasus in natural. You totally could. Oh, whether you could. Sorry, I just had a thought that you'd have to wear gloves, Kim. Would you always recommend holding mohair with another yarn? No. Nope, it depends on what you're doing. I think that if you wanted to hold sort of structure, I think it needs it personally, but some things don't need a rigid structure. Like I've seen some stunning shawls just done in mohair by themselves, in the mohair silk by themselves, and they look amazing. So you don't need to, but if you want to use it for, like, say, a beanie, like I used some, hang on, so over here again. Oh, I just threw the yellow on the ground. So when I made Deanne's Thatcher hat, I used Pegasus, Blurple, and also, geez, my camera really didn't like going with this Blurple, did it? It really trashed the colours. It looks way better in real life than it does on camera, let me tell you that right now. So I used the Pegasus Blurple and the mohair silk together, and it's just beautiful. So you still get to see some stitch definition. It's lovely. So I'll just throw that over there because it's really messing with the screen. Cream, pink, and grey. I know, right? Oh my gosh. I think the purple makes the pink pop some. Yeah, I agree. Like I would probably put something between them, but it's totally personal preference. It's the thing with colour. Rebecca says maybe I should go outside before it rains again. If it's been raining a lot, I would definitely. Depends on the pattern and what you're making. The mohair ends up very airy, so if you want a garment that didn't require layering, look, you need to hit, I'm going to say it, hit Ravelry and just look up some of the mohair silk patterns and just see and make the decisions for yourself. But if you are using a 4-ply pattern and replacing it with a kid mohair silk, you need to understand you're going to lose some structure, but that may not be a bad thing. So have a play and be adventurous. It's just yarn. Now, if you do need to frog it, pop it in the freezer for a little while before you frog it. It frogs a lot easier once it's frozen. I don't know why. I can't answer that, but it does work. It does work. Oh, Kylie, welcome to the chat, KVit. So yeah, so we've got these guys that have just sort of, so this one's new and these guys are all restocked. So they're all back in the store. And the other thing that I was doing was I realized after the big wool show, we were very low on blinglets. And while I'm waiting on the actual rings in the small and the large to arrive, and more medium to arrive, I did have some mediums that were just waiting for me to get off my butt and package them, that we'd already glued and jeweled up. So we've released this new color. It's called Blushing Roses. It's a temporary color. There's only like 5 or 6 of these available. If you want them, jump online and order a pack now. These are only available in the medium. They are tonally different. There's technically two different colors, but I just mixed them up and totally random. So there's like a slightly darker and a slightly lighter versions. It's nearly like the difference between these two here. But like you got to be looking close, but they're very, very cute and I love them. So I thought I'd share that with you as well, that these guys are back in stock. That's not going to focus because it's not meant to. There we go. We'll do it here. So these guys are the Leo 2 are back in stock, and these guys are in for a limited time only. Is this the rose one I saw on Facebook? Yes, it is. Yes, it is the blushing rose that I posted on Facebook yesterday. But we've got lots of restocking a lot of the colours for for the medium size only, okay? So we've added more fuchsia, more peacock, more red, more powder blue, more green, more silver. I'm sure there's something else I've missed. I didn't write them all down, so I'm sure I missed some. Have you done the Leo 2 in anything other than semi-solids? No, not really. No, I haven't, not yet. I'm not that brave. My buffering is ridiculous this morning. Refreshed YouTube twice already, so behind in the video. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Kerry. Marion says, gee, one of each colour and hold a 4-ply and make the Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay from Bakery Bears. Okay, I like that. I've had to buffer twice. I thought it was just me. I'll keep an eye on my stream here, but it seems to be working all right. I've got a secondary thing that runs off a different internet connection, and let me know if anyone else is having a problem with the buffering. I didn't really change any settings, so. All right, I just got a suggestion that my bitrate might be a bit high. So I'm just going to see if I can change that while I'm streaming. Hang on a second. Output. Apply. Okay. Let's see if that makes a difference for us, everybody here. Spanish Chick says, I have 9 more blocks to weave in ends on. Am I sure it's a different connection? I'm just double checking. Yes, it is. It's a different connection. So yes. Close that suggestion there. We don't need that anymore. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm making a square. That's what I'm doing. So what do you guys think? Do you prefer what I'm doing with the crochet version or what I'm going to do with the knit versions? The other thing that happened with the knit version, I don't know if you can see it, is I actually ran out before the last round, so I had to use some of the paler green. So see how there's 2 shades of green? I had to snag in the paler green, and then I'm like, oh my god, I totally need to be making like change colors through the lace, which I'm just like, oh my god, why did I even think of that? Changing colors in lace. Oh, it's not my favorite thing to do, but every now and again to get something beautiful, it's what we have to do, isn't it? So I'm just trying not to count out loud because you need to go and download the pattern, and it's a freebie. It's totally worth going and getting. It is awesome. Hey Dizzy, welcome to the chat. Are you on morning tea already? I don't know. If you had gradient colorways, yeah, Kim, a lot of these colors are never going to be gradient colorways because of the amount of work required to be a gradient colorway, and you know it. So yes, some will occasionally have a gradient for funds, but nothing permanent. Kim's on her countdown to finish off her project. So have you started the second color on any of those squares yet? Or have you just done all your first colors? So Kim's doing a variation on a granny square blanket similar to the one that I did, the Spin Your Granny, different stuff, but similar idea. Where's your Grey and Moran school? I mean, it's inside somewhere in the house. So I just demonstrated profiteroles. Nice. Good morning, Joss. Welcome to the chat. Are you sneaking in listening while you're at work? Because that's naughty. Totally naughty. Now, okay. I have to keep track of what I'm doing a little bit. I'm not very good at that. Because my brain is still a little bit like not quite back to, full capacity. I'm getting there, but we're just not quite there yet. So here in Australia, we've been having some fun little lockdowns, all those sorts of things that are going on. And I know, we're very lucky here compared to other countries. But one of the things that isn't happening that would usually be happening at this time of the year is the Royal Exhibition, or the Ekka, here in Brisbane. And that would usually have started by now, I think. Yeah, by now. But what they're doing is some of the vendors, their stalls actually raised money for charity. So there was this like ice cream stall thing that raised money for charity. And it's this strawberry ice cream. And so you get a little cone, and in the cone you got a little bit of ice cream in the bottom, and a little section of cut up strawberries in there, then some strawberry ice cream, and then something else, and then some vanilla ice cream. So it's just in little thin layers. It's only about this big in total. So it's just all these little thin layers in like a cone. And but yeah, so there's all these little pop-up shops selling them. It's like the one thing at the Ekka I always made sure I bought. And Abby's been on my case because it's like, oh, Mum, you know, I can get show bags online. And I'm like, meh, show bags. Brr. But she was like, Mum, they've got a pop-up shop that's nearby that we can go to for the ice cream cones. And I was just like, really? So we're going on an adventure, and we're going to go and get some of these ice cream cones. At the Ekka, they actually have them using this weird ice cream that doesn't melt much. So I'm wondering if they're still using that. We might even be able to bring one home for my husband. It's not exactly hot right now. Kim says, no, I'm finishing the 9 that I have, and then I'm adding the grey. World Granny Square Day for tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I always forget when it is, Dizzy. Far out. I'll have to get some photos of my little granny squares and add them over onto my Instagram feed. For those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, and you have Instagram, why would you not follow me? Just out of curiosity. Is there a reason? Or is it just a case of you just haven't done it yet? I'm really getting quite close to 2,000 followers over on Instagram, so I'd really love to hit that little milestone. So if you could help out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. What are Devon Pixies? I don't know what that is. Oh, I think there's a high tea place near you that's doing them Devon Pixies. I understand. Yes, no, that's not where we're going. We've got a spot that we're going, so we're going to go and do that there. Is it safe to consume if it don't melt much? Look, that was my original question too, but I didn't die and I ate one last year, so you know, there's that. Their ice cream has added isomalt, helps with melting. Oh, okay, all right, there you go. Joss is on holidays, leaving for Stanthorpe at 11, having a quick watch before I get packed up. Oh, that sounds amazing, Joss. I've just realised this is it going to be, oh no, it is. It's going to be a square. That's all right. There's nothing to see here. I thought I stuffed it up. It's totally fine. I mean, there's still a chance I'll stuff it up. So my dog is losing her mind at somebody, and based on the fact that the neighbours' dogs have also lost their minds, means that there's probably someone walking around. No, look, I did. I stuffed it up all the way back here. I put in chains that I didn't need to put in. And no, it's a total. It's a 5-sider. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, screwed that up. Need to see. This is what happens if I don't focus properly while I'm doing things. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there needs to be 2. 1 more in here. Goodness me. Join it up. Join it. Get in there and join the little stinker. And then single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Goodness me. Now I have to try not to. Why couldn't someone tell me that I was making a hexagon rather than a square? You just let me go on. What kind of friends are you guys, honestly? I've done that. I've made a 6-pointer square into a 5-pointer. Yeah, this is supposed to be 4 points into 5, but yeah, same deal. Same deal. So I've been having this discussion online with in Twitter. Some of you know that I am a member of the Primal Video Accelerator program, which is a video accelerator program. No, it's a group that really helps you to create better content for YouTube, understanding your equipment better, utilizing the equipment that you have, all this sort of thing. And it's really, really good. Anyway, Justin put out a new video because he puts out heaps of videos on YouTube comparing different softwares. And he was comparing this software, StreamYard, which I used when I was streaming for the Big Wool Show. I used StreamYard for that, and it was so fun, and I loved using StreamYard. But he was actually saying if you can integrate Ecamm Live into it, which is streaming software that I can't use because I don't have a Mac. Anyway, enter all this you should join the dark side conversation. And now my brain is all like, maybe you should try a Mac and see what you think. But I'm like, no, don't. And I don't know if it's like my brain is doing the whole don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But I don't know if it's doing that because of how sort of anti-Apple I am, or if it's a legitimate, like, proper reason. Do you know what I mean? Do you guys ever, like, do that where you decide against something and then you kind of, your brain goes, maybe you could try the thing, but then at the same time it's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Look, and the reality is I probably won't do it only because I don't have access to a MacBook Pro to try out the software to see if it would do what I wanted it to do anyway. And so I would not be outlaying that kind of money at all if it was something I couldn't even trial first. Oh, gosh. Freaky says I got a pentagon mixed up with an octagon. Oh, my gosh. Leslie says, the weather is lovely here in Stanthorpe at the moment. I hope you have a lovely break. Yeah. You don't want to learn a new computer coding program? Look, I mean, and I'm pretty open to learning new softwares. I've just always done it not on a Mac. Like, I've used, like, what have I got here? I've got a Samsung, a Microsoft. My Samsung, I look at it, it's closed. It hasn't been open in ages. It's got this massive dead section in the middle of the screen. It's very bad. But it's like my backup workhorse, if that makes sense. It also gets ridiculously hot, so it has to stay on a thing. Like it's like 1 second from blowing up. So I don't really count it. But for Fiberific, I've used a Samsung laptop. I've used my Microsoft Surface Pro laptop. And now I've got this Asus laptop that so I'm just, you know, quite happy in my little world of Windows-based, not Macs. I mean, but I really want to try this software at the same time, but it's only available for Mac. So, Marion says, come over to the Apple dark side, you'll love it. But you'd never admit it. Look, you know, and that's the thing, if this software did what I'm being told it can do, it would be pretty cool and it would make our live streams fun. But what it also made me realize was that there's a way that I can integrate OBS into StreamYard, because do you guys remember, like, I don't know if many of you were, well, I know some of you definitely were in the live chats. You know how I could bring up the comments that people made and pull them on screen? I really would love to be able to do that here as well. Why do you need to know? Oh, no, Marion, look, what happens is one really starts to die off and it can't run a live stream anymore. So it gets pushed to the side. So I only run one. There's only one that I use at a time, really. But the others are not quite dead, if that makes sense. So there's still, like, one's inside and I use it for like working on patterns and things like that. The Samsung is so close to dead that it doesn't even have an alternative job. It just sits in a corner. Really, it should be wiped and recycled is really what should happen to that. So yeah, no, I really only do work on one at a time. But yeah, sometimes I've got two that function and I utilize them for different things now. So the old Surface Pro that I used to use here, for the live streaming. And when you remember when we had so many problems with the live streams, it turned out it was my laptop, not the internet. And then we upgraded the laptop and it fixed a lot of those problems. It didn't fix all the problems, but it fixed a lot. Looking forward to some quiet time and no reception and no technology. Oh my gosh. But please tell me you're taking yarn. But you don't need to have the comments running because YouTube now includes them in the replay 8 hours later. It's more like if someone had a particular question and I wanted to highlight it and bring it on screen, I could do that. This is like an individual, like I can click a button and bring that comment on screen. It doesn't bring them all on, if that makes sense. Kerry's off to work. Bye, Kerry. Have a great day. I only use my phone. Hubby has a large desktop and that's it. See, I couldn't run my business only off a phone. And my desktop that I do have needs to be looked at. It currently won't turn on. So I need to take it up to get checked out at the PC doctor. There we go. Okay, I'm at the end of my square and I just have to, I'm going to pause. I'm going to move the scissors away because the number of times I've cut it and then had to rejoin it is, I don't even want to tell you. Oh, my tea is getting a bit cold. Lucky I have my amazing T2 thermos. Not a sponsor, T2. If you ever want to sponsor my live stream, it'll be a really cheap sponsorship deal. You just need to keep me in tea. Really, that's it. It'll be so simple. Always pack projects first. Absolutely. Oh, goodness me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to leave, that's an edge line there, and that's an edge line there. So I'm going to join this white one in here. No. Or here. I might do this one first. Okay. Alrighty. So then it's, their instructions are a little different. Where's my gap? And I don't really understand why we do some of the things that we do. But I'm just going to do them. Come back here. Because it creates a bit of a twist, and I'm not the biggest fan of the twist, or at least working into the twist. Alrighty. Right sides together. Just double check it's right sides together, because that wouldn't be the first time that's happened either. I always pack my projects first. Yes. Yes. And I think we all do, pretty much. Yeah, I just, hang on a second. Go. Just a bit tricky to get this first one done because it's all twisty. And you guys are going to see how much I fudge things to make them work. Oh dear. I'm a weirdo who packed down on my honeymoon. I don't really consider that a weirdo thing. This feels very wrong. Hang on a second. Just feels like it's not going to make it. 2, 4, 6, 8. Hang on a second. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. No, there's 11. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, there's 11 there. I don't know why my brain said that it wasn't going to work, but it's totally going to work. Join it in. Bring it to the other side. If you can't take my yarn, I'm not going. Good point. Yes. Yeah. I mean, every now and again, I'll get the, do you really need that much yarn on this, little trip? And I'm just like, yeah, I do, yeah. When we went away for 4 days, I may have taken 3 different projects with me. I only worked on one, but I wanted the choice, you know, to work on something else while I was there. Because what if I felt like knitting socks rather than crocheting a border onto a blanket, you know? What if I felt like working on a top rather than, you know, graphing out the name that I needed for on top of the blanket? All these things. Game Winner says, I've just had to step away and deal with a remote school question. What have I missed? So much. You've missed so much. Honestly, I don't know if you can catch up. And just talking about, you know, taking yarn away when we go on trips. And that goes there. Bam. And then in, we do a chain 1, and then join it through that chain like that. And then we have to turn the corner and go to this green one. Sorry, I always have to lay it down, otherwise I mix things up and end up joining the wrong things, which is really bad. And then this second row always just seems easier than the first one. I don't know why, it just seems to settle in better for me. I take yarn camping, says Gamer Widows. That's awesome. I remember one time I took my spinning wheel camping. I can tell you we got some looks. Definitely. That she's actually considering a Mac. I don't know if I'm considering, how do I put it? I'm considering if I really need the software that requires a Mac to run it. That's where I'm more at. Does that make sense? Aunt Ida, you have a good day too. So yeah, and look, you know, I've had an aversion to Macs for many years. And even my Mac loving friends at the moment have not been the biggest fans of some of the things that have been coming in. So there's a white one that's going to go there. I want to put that one there. What color? Should I put a pink one there? What do you think? What do you think of that? If we add a pink one and then a cut bar. Let me know in the chat. And these are some of the other color options that we have. Oh, there's yellow, there's green, there's a different green, there's a different pink. So let me know. Have a good time, Joss. Keep warm. Keep warm. We know it's cold there, especially at night. So one of the things I've noticed is how much I'm using this little case. Like, I originally got it and I was a bit annoyed with the size. I'll be truthful. Because for some reason my brain told me it was going to be more this length. So it was just that little bit too short, which, you know, I shove all my crochet hooks in here. But this has been the perfect little pouch that I just stick here on the little basket, right? And I've got my chibis in it, my hook goes in it, my little snippers go in it, and I've even literally been shoving this in there. So I went to the hairdressers yesterday, and this was the project bag I took with me. So I just went poke, 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 zip it up, get in there. Get in there, Chow Goose, circular. Just, there we go. Stop it, there we go. And so that was it. That was my little, it was weird. It was so weird. But I don't know, it's really growing on me, this size, you know. I would like something just a bit longer, but the only way to get that is that it's also a bit deeper. That's not a bad thing. It's just I prefer this width. But yeah, it's been really good. And I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm shocked that the Fiberific branded thing is actually working. All right, how do we go with colors? I'm having a quick look in the chat here. That looks good with the pink and the orange. I like the pink. Hey, Ruth, welcome to the chat. So yeah, so I'm looking at, I'm just going to move these ones out a bit. So I'm looking at adding those two in here. What do you think of that? Do you think that works? Or do you think we need something a bit not citrus with that one right there? I mean, it's going to have a white one in the middle. I think I'm just overly sensitive because I'm not happy with these, but to remove these, I have to like remove a whole section. And so I'm not gonna, because I'm also exceptionally lazy. You guys have worked this out, right? But I just don't want to repeat of that, if that makes sense. Like that's going to be an anomaly right there. So the pink is good. Let me know in the chat, you guys. I'm just going to have, hey, Kathy, welcome to the chat. I didn't see Yuri. So last week, I had a impromptu live chat with the Patreons of Fiberific because I was feeling particularly guilty about the fact that I haven't put out any video lately. So the Patreons haven't been getting sort of many additional bonuses, which I feel is not really very fair. So I'm going to be planning another one very soon. So if you're a Patreon of Fiberific, keep your eyes peeled. Now this will be open to all levels of paid Patreon. This is not just for the $15 a monthly video call level. This will be available to all levels of Patreon. So hang on, face cam, go to the face cam. So if you are not, sorry, my face cam distracted me. So if you are not a Patreon member, Kim's just popped a link in there now. You can join and be a Patreon of Fiberific for as little as $1 a month. Then when I do make videos, which are coming, as my voice is getting stronger, I've got stuff scripted and ready and I'm feeling better about it. I've got some stuff that I had to sort out on this end that's sorted now, so I'm excited to get back into it. There's new videos coming. There are some special live stream events coming for Patreon members only. So there'll be some cool stuff coming for you guys. So thank you so much for all the support you've given over the. However, how long have I had Patreon now? Anyway, some of you have been Patreon since the very start, and I want to say a huge thank you. And I want to say a big thank you to those that are still joining in every week that we get a new Patreon. It's wonderful. Okay, so pink. All right, I'm going to join the pink on. Put that here. Hop away, little mustard one. You're lurking. Well, I mean, I agree with Freaky. You're doing an excellent job of lurking. Do I need to? No, I just need to go straight into this. Just double check it's the right way because I've definitely joined one on the wrong way before. It's frustrating when you realize it and you have to go back and pull possibly more than one out. That's the catch. It's possibly more than one that has to come out to fix your silly dumb mistake. Am I the only one who does that? Accidentally joins squares the wrong way, and has to pull out all the work? It's almost been 2 years since we started Patreon. Oh my gosh, Kim, that's fantastic. So Ruth only just got the notification. Yeah, Ruth, most of us here don't actually rely on YouTube to let us know the live stream's happening. I start the live streams every week on a Thursday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. So you can pop it into your calendar and that way you'll not rely on YouTube. Just pop it into your own personal calendar, 10 o'clock every Thursday, and you can come and join in the fun, and you don't have to worry if YouTube notifications are late, which they invariably are. We could have a Zoom party to celebrate your 2-year anniversary. We could. That sounds like a great idea. I think we definitely need to do that. Let's have a Zoom party for the Fiberific patrons. That feels like I did something hinky there. Let me just check something. Nope, looks fine. I'm not trusting myself after last week's efforts. Kim will wear a party hat. I will not, however, wear a party hat. So it'll just be Kim. Am I adding the mustard on now? Just let me know in the chat. Kathy says, I'm working on another 60 kb. It's a beast and so heavy. Sandy just ordered a couple of bags on Redbubble. Thank you, Sandy. Redbubble's got some really cool, fun things. I've got my, I love my tote bag. It's such a good size bag and it's fully lined, which I wasn't really expecting, but it is, so I'm happy. So, am I going with Cutler, which is my repeatable mustard? Or am I going with something else in this corner? So, tossing up with... Oh, Sandy says it's 15% off at Redbubble at the moment. That is good to know. I did not know that. So we could go with mustard, or we could go with a bright blue, or we could even go with a grey. So yeah. Let me know. What? Although I said you should swap the pink and the mustard. I'm not swapping them now. The pink's in, man. The pink's in. Mustard it is. All right. Mustard. I'm just going to wait a little second longer. Holly likes the grey. Oh, bring in the grey. We'll have a look. We've got 3 votes for mustard, 1 vote for grey. Or mustard. All right, let's go with the mustard. I'm just going to go with the mustard. Let's flip it over. No, right side's facing. Dizzy says mustard. There we go. We got a mustard vote going on here. So join into the corner. I mean, I may not be doing my corners and stuff exactly how the designer recommends, but I mean, they're working, right? I'm trying to do it the way she says, but I don't have the pattern up, which, you know, I probably could, but I don't. So, there's that. Did I skip one there? Nope. It's all good, Chantel. Trust yourself. Use the force. Mustard. You guys. So what are you all working on at the moment? I mean, I'm working on like 14 projects apparently. So you need to list out. Please list out more than one. So I don't feel so bad about working on 14 projects. I think I have missed one somewhere. Done something wrong. A tangled mess of sock yarn scraps. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I did. I missed one there. I see it. That was really quite difficult to see that I'd missed one. I'm doing a baby blanket and the perfect sock shawl. Awesome. Kim says, I started seaming the collar to the cardi I still haven't assembled. Awesome. I'm working on fixing my email, but also a top. Oh, I really hope you get your email sorted. That was terrible. Dizzy's got a few things. Mandala blanket, rainbow baby blanket, corner to corner blanket, baby shoes, blue shades of hexagon, an African flower elephant. They sound like some fun projects you've got there. All different sizes too, which I love. Holly is working on 20 projects, but one of them is the Mix Your Granny pattern. That sounds fun. I'm working on a mosaic stitch top from Freaky. Good job, Freaky. It's only one project. Wait, make me feel guilty. Marion's working on lots of patchwork at the moment, baby bibs and burp cloths, spindle spinning and snoozing. I am jealous of the snoozing. I would like to be snoozing. Snoozaloozling, as we call it in our household. Who's having a snoozaloozle? Oh, when you're not having to throw links, that is. Yes, well, there is that. Do this and then that. And join over. Come here, little thing. Oh, come on. This should not be this hard unless I've done something wrong, which, you know, I probably have. In you go, little thing. And that's right, I hid the scissors from myself because I'm not trustworthy. I have other scissors. All right, so we have made another little corner. We've got some pinks. Got some pink and some mustard in there. Now I'm going to weave in those ends because I can't help myself now. It's like a new addiction. Just one active crochet project, but so many staring at me. Well, 3. Hanging on to get on with our Zoomy Square Blanket project, plus some crafty stuff for my granddaughter's gift. I've still got my Zoomy Squares blanket to finish, but it's more that I need to stitch on all the little names. So on each square we've got the initials of who made the squares, so we know, you know, once we remove any sort of tags and, you know, thinking down the track kind of thing. And I think I've still got a couple of grey ends from joining that need to be woven in as well. So not a lot to do, but I'm not super confident in how I'm going to stitch the names on, if that makes sense, because all the squares are different kinds of squares. So some of them have got more air under the stitches than others. Does that make sense? Air under the stitches. Dizzy says that my kids in year 8 and 9 are making masks for the school kids in Melbourne. That's an awesome thing to do in home ec. Knitspin says I'm working on a portage cardigan, socks, scraptastic granny blanket, and I've just figured out how to get my knitting machine up and running for sock blanks. Can you tell I'm excited? Yes, I can. I can tell you're excited. So, as a person who has knit many sock blanks on a knitting machine, I caution you with make them loose. Otherwise, when you dye them, they create heathered yarn, which, you know, if you want heathered yarn, that's great. If you don't want heathered yarn, it's a pain. So, yeah. Kim says you could sew them under the square in the border round. Yeah, yep. That's actually a really good point. I didn't even think of popping them into the border round above or below them. Made of clever, Kim. Okay. Next white one. Which side is the... Now I've forgotten which side I'm just working... Oh, no. Anyway, as long as I keep 2 squares. As it gets bigger, I'll work it out, okay? What I could do is actually just do the white squares to square out the sides that I want to keep white. Hey, that's what we could do. We could totally do that right now. That's what I'm going to do. Because otherwise I'm going to continuously forget which sides are supposed to be the edge. And it will become an issue. So that's what I'm going to do. Where are we at for time? It's already 11:15, you guys. Wow. So, the other thing that happened here yesterday is I've got a Nancy's Knickknacks order that arrived. If you were waiting on anything that you'd ordered from the Big Wool Show, it is here. So I'll hopefully get those into the post this afternoon. I've got to open the box and double check all the things and But what did I order? I ordered some New Notions cases and Handy Andies and Lazy Kates and something else. I can't remember what it was. And I also received a Margacraft order. So I've got a set of the new Margacraft hand combs. So if you guys want to see those, let me know. They're just over there. I can go and grab them. And also Margacraft Turkish spindles, which I have not added to the website yet. But I've got 2 of those here now. So they are so cute. They come in their own little carry bag and everything. So I've got to get some nice photos and Kim's picking on me. Mom, Kim's picking on me. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, bring that in. Goodness me. Ruth says, I'm 14 hours behind you, Kim. It's 9:31 p.m. in Florida. Oh, Ruth. They need to make something and name it Karen. Who needs to make something and name it Karen? Go here. Your mum just laughs when I pick on you. She's not going to help. You're right, she does. She thinks it's hilarious. She does. She literally just laughs and just is like, yeah, get over it. Mum, why don't you defend me from the bullies? Not that Kim's a bully. Kim is just cheeky. Hey, Enigmata, welcome to the chat. So, yeah, I'm just going to add these on. I'll have to look at how I'm going to do it. 1, 2. Should probably read the instructions, but you know, not gonna. It's not really my thing. Oh, Nancy's Knickknacks, Handy Andy, Lazy Kate. I understand now. Sorry, it took me a little second. Took me a second. Karen is big news down south. Yes, Karen is big news down south. I did have a nice holiday actually, but I came back and then promptly got sick. So, does anybody else do that? They go away on a holiday and then they come home and just get sick? Or get sick on their holiday. I mean, I didn't get sick on my holiday, thank goodness. I had such a nice time. But yeah, I got sick coming home. Instructions. Yes, absolutely, Kim. That's right. Oops. When you're doing trebles, you must continue doing trebles and not do half trebles. Even if half trebles are really your favourite stitch. But don't tell the other stitchers that you have a favourite stitch, because they get upset. Sandy gets sick on holidays? Yeah. Lindsay says, I don't think I mentioned it last week that my new spindle arrived all the way from Russia. I've got to order some fibre now. Oh, yes. Wow. That's amazing. You'll need to show us a photo. Did you put a photo into the fun zone? Love to see a pic. Kim says, yeah, once you slow down, your immune system does too, and then boom, sick. Yep. Yeah. That's pretty much how it feels. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. Everything's fantastic. I'm relaxing. I'm chilling. Yeah. So does that mean you should just never have a holiday if you don't want to get sick? Like, is that the logic that we get out of that? That we just like, it's just better to not slow down then? Because you don't want that immune system to do evil? Oh, I just dropped a square. Come back, little square. Oink. I'll tell you what. I've been doing some exercises and my core muscles are just a bit sore. They're like, oh, you haven't used this in a while. And today they're just a bit like, oh, bending, are we? You want to bend, do you? What type of yarn are you using? I am using Pegasus 4-ply, it's Fiberific sock yarn. Most of these colours so far are the rainbow colours for the rainbow sock kit, but I'm also just adding in whatever. So because I'm doing some stuff that's just in my stash, like scraps. I haven't done any yet, I don't think, but like some of these colours will actually be, I think this one, here we go, that's a sunflower 4-ply sock yarn. I think brinjal's a 4-ply sunflower as well. So they're all going to be 4-ply sock yarns, but they're just going to be random. But I started with the rainbow scraps, but I'm just going to keep going with whatever. And like I know in my bag I've got a 4-ply bit of merino silk that's just going to, I'm tossing up whether or not I'll add it because I don't know if it'll, you know, like let me see if I can. This is my bag of scraps. I've got lots of blue. Here, no. Here it is. Like it's in coffee tones, but it's got silk through it as well. But I don't know. But these are all hand dyed by me, or little bits of minis left over from things. Just random bits. Poke it back in the bag because it's a mess. Get back in there, big blue bit. But yeah, that's a silky 4-ply that was a Mystery Lace Club colour, I think. Was it? No, that one wasn't a Mystery Lace Club colour. That was one of the minis for, yeah, for the Mystery Lace Club mini pack. So, yeah. Sandy suffered a 3-day migraine on her honeymoon. Oh my gosh, that would be the worst, Sandy. No, Dizzy, this is the point. I'm using all my scraps for blankets. I'm going to make a Batternberg blanket, which is this crochet one. And then just off here is the knitted blanket that I'm also going to be making using scraps, which is going to be the Vivid blanket from Tin Can Knits. Don't look too closely at my cast on area there. That wasn't my first one. I was learning how to do it. MLC, what's that? Wow, funny you should mention that, Kim. MLC is a Fiberific Mystery Lace Club. Let me do this. Bam. I have got the little ticker down the bottom which will run through the information, but basically it's a once a month club box that will come out to you that will have chocolate goodies and a pattern and yarn, and there's always enough of the yarn to make the pattern, and in at least one of the sizes. So the Mystery Lace part of it, or MLC, Mystery Lace Club, the Mystery Lace part is, the pattern is always lace knitting. It is not always lace weight. So we have had yarns ranging from 1200 meters per 100 grams up to 200 meters per 100 grams. So that's like a fine lace weight all the way through to an 8-ply or a DK. But all the patterns have always been for lace work. So it's, you know, open stitches. So yeah, it's a really cool, fun thing to have appear in your mailbox once a month, and it's lots of fun. Dizzy says, you know me, I've still got my scrap blanket going up to 4 years. Rebecca ordered her spindle from someone in Siberia. That's cool. It's one of those things now that you can order things from all over the world. I mean, at the moment with the current climate, it's a bit tricky with post, getting things to come in, because a lot of post comes in on the passenger planes as cargo in the passenger planes. And because there's a lot less passenger planes traveling around the world at the moment, it's really slowing down the postal systems. So there's that. Enigmata says, when I watch a video, I wanted everything I see. I now want more Chiaogu and more yarn. Look, I get it. I understand, because I did the same thing. And for me, it's not just yarn either. It's like, oh, tech stuff. Oh, look at that. I would really like this thing as well. But yeah, I definitely get it. We've got lots of pretty yarns. The rainbow sock kit is back open with the next batch of pre-orders, which will ship around the 20. I think I put the 25th of August. So we've got, we're just getting the last couple of the last batch out, and then I will start prepping up for the next batch and get those ready, which will be exciting. It'll be fun. We've got lots of cool things coming. And yeah. Game Widow says, I finished my scrap blanket after 3 years, now trying to figure out what to use my leftover scraps on. Well, I mean, that scrap blanket is gorgeous and adorable. You don't think you need to make another one for another bed in your home, or was it too much? Like, do you want something different? So definitely get that. Sometimes you just want something a little bit different. Spanish Chick says, I don't need more chow goo. No, you don't, I don't think. Unless something new comes out soon. I think you've got all the chow goo things, right? How big is your nitty noddy for minis? Well, I don't use nitty noddy to make my minis. I use a motorized Swift, and I make the minis the same length as my usual skeins, but for this particular, so for my normal minis, I'm just going to reach back. Here we go. There's a standard mini there. That's a 25 gram mini. That is still the 1.6 meter skeins that I normally do. It just has less rotations on it. And then we have, do I have a rainbow sock somewhere? I have one, but it's tucked away. It's hidden, so I don't try and sell it to somebody because it already has a home. But then what I did with the rainbow minis, they're all 1.6 meters as well, but I just twisted all the 5 gram minis together in one big, which is why this has got so many little ends, because they're all tied off separately. So yeah, so I use my motorized skeiner. I have to make so many minis that I'm not going to use a nitty noddy. I'm almost ashamed to say how many chow goo sets I have. Enigmata, if you use them, there is no shame. They are tools that are being used and utilized. My dog is losing her mind over something. And I heard a car door. So she stopped, so it mustn't be here. All right, now we're going to join this on. There you go. Spanner Chick threw it out there. Good job, Spanner Chick. Okay, I'm going to go this way. Oh, hang on a second. I've got to do the weird and wonderful. I'll take that out there. Go in here. Bring the loop through to the other side. I've got 3 sets of 5-inch and 4-inch needles and 1 Tunisian crochet hooks, all purchased last summer and fall. There you go. I actually have, what do I have sets wise? I have hang on a second, that's not right. I have a 5-inch small set. I don't have a complete set. I've added bits and bobs into it and a million cables. And I have just added all sorts of extra, and I also have a 5-inch small set in the bamboos. So yeah, that's me. I don't have tons, but I use what I have. I've got a few fixed circulars as well. So yeah. Oh, and I have a Tunisian hook set. That's all right. I justify by saying some people go out drinking and only have a hangover to show for it, and I have beautiful needles. Absolutely. Absolutely. Honestly though, unless you need to, I don't feel that we should have to justify buying good tools. You know, like if you're paying all your things and it's your fun money, you should get to spend your fun money on what you want to spend it on, right? I mean, I don't know. I think I'm in that. I think that's my brain. As long as, you know, you're not taking the food out of your family's mouths with knitting needle purchases, which, you know, I don't think is the case, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Rebecca says I need to pick up bamboo sets. Yep. I find that it's handy having both. Like I'm hardcore stainless steel, but I've found that having the bamboo has been really helpful for a lot of my projects. So, am I doing this the right way? Yes, I am. Good, good, good. Okay, need to join this into the little section. Go like this, and then turn the corner. Just double check. Yep, going into the yellow now. Cool, cool, cool. Spanish Chick says I justify them by saying I wanted them. Enigmata says I looked at the bamboo, but I was scared when I started because I thought I was such a tight knitter that I would break them. Look, that is a legitimate concern that people have, and some people have been known to break their bamboo tips, but not usually in the sizes in the set. So it's usually the smaller bamboo, like your 2 mil double pointeds and things like that, that I see the most getting broken. I don't think I've seen, well, no one's mentioned to me the larger tips and needles. They're quite solid. Leonie says bamboo snaps when used for the wrong thing. Yes, Leonie, it does. Oh, face cam. So yeah, there's that. I'm just running along here. I hope you guys can see everything. I've tried changing the angles and everything so that you can see everything I'm doing a bit better. So let me know if that's making a difference. I tweak this setup like every week. Change things. I know it's not always visible, or wow, that just looks like there's so many more yellows. Hang on a second. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. No, there should be exactly the same number. I've definitely missed some. Oik. Let me pull that back and fix it. Fix it, Felix. Wood, wood. Okay, so go in here. We're going there, yes. Okay, done, scuzz. And then the first loop. I missed the first loop for a start and went into the second. That lost one, and there was one in the middle. Okay, that seems to be lining up a bit better now. Isn't that funny? When you get it right at the start, it just works better. It's like a zip. We can see nice work. I watched the video of your of the Love Shack. It's a great use of space. Yeah, I try to really utilize the space that I have. There's a lot of things that has to be done out in this small area. I think I've changed the setup a little bit for the for the cameras and stuff since that Love Shack video. I watched it was a Primal Video Accelerator thing. Hang on a second. The dog is still going, so this one might be for us. No, she stopped. No, definitely chatting with the neighbours. I can hear them all talking. Good, good, good. Because my husband's on a conference call and he can't solve any of these dog noise problems today. So I have to run out. My brother is hilarious. He should do more cameos. My brother is very funny, but he is not local to me, so I don't get to see him very often. That was my old space. I miss that space, but you know what? The reality is I did not utilize the space I had, and I should have. So I'll know next time when I get a big space again that if I can do this much with this small space, imagine what I could do with a big space. Woo! So, oh, neighbours' dogs are losing their minds. Can you guys hear when the dogs bark, or is it just me that can hear and so it sounds like I'm like losing my mind? Oh goodness me, my throat is starting to go a little bit. The tea is definitely helping, but I don't know if it is doing everything it needs to. I've been so busy at work, I had to work knitting videos to calm myself down, so I was watching your old videos this week. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope they were fun and entertaining. I have started writing the list. Do you guys, I don't know how many of you in here are like old school, right? But do you guys remember when I used to do the Stuff I Love videos? Where each month I would write down all the things that I enjoyed about the month, and they could have been totally random. Like, it did not have to be yarn craft related. It just had to be things that I appreciated or made me laugh or I enjoyed that month. And I am seriously considering starting those back up again. What do you guys think if I started the once a month Stuff I Love videos, like what we used to do? Or a chicken cam, a snowy cam or a chicken cam. Kim keeps saying bring them back. Kim does keep saying bring them back. Oh, what have I done there? I really scooped up lots of stuff on that one, didn't I? Should I go back and fix that? Can you even see it from the other? You can see it from the other side. Oh, so rather than just picking up the tips of the things, I've picked up the entire. Let me look. I'm not even going to notice that. I'm not going to notice that later. I'm not. I swear it. I'm not pulling it back. This is a scrap blanket. It's allowed to be scrappy, she says to herself while knowing she's probably going to pull it back. So, like, don't weave in the ends. 1 month you loved coffee. Like it was only that month, lol. Yes, truth. That is truth. I do love coffee so much. But I think I got new coffee or something. Don't tell me to fix it. I'm not fixing it. Before you weave in the ends. No, look, you can barely tell. Like, can you even see? Can you see where my mistake is? Mr. Tibbles won't participate in being filmed, so there's no point in a cat cam. In saying that, whenever I'm in the shack, he sits out on the chook pen roof, which is just like this little hutch thing that's out the window. And so when I'm packing orders, I can talk to him, and he gets so moochy. He's so moochy. I don't like that colour that Kim. Stop it. Like, just stop. Stop it. All right. I'm going to put a white one in there. Yes, I agree with you, by the way. But it's so far back, I don't even know how many things I'd have to remove to fix it. Yeah. Stick a GoPro on the cat's head. Boom, cat cam. I think Tibbles would attack it. Look, I agree with you. Like, maybe I should just go hard and just stick that one in there and just make it like Peach Corner. It's a scrap blanket, my friends. Sometimes we make mistakes with our scrap blankets. I'm not selling it or anything. It's mine. But yes, I'm going to consciously not put, because these are two different shades of colour. You can see the difference on camera, but they are quite close. I will make a conscious effort to not do that again. But they are going to be the bottom corner of my blanket. So, bye everyone. My daughter is getting married this Saturday at the Blue Mountains, and I need to start getting stuff packed for the weekend. Oh my gosh, Alison, have a fantastic time, and I hope everything is perfect on the day. So, Saturday. Oh my gosh, that'll be so amazing. You guys are picking on my peachy square. If you keep picking on my peachy squares, I might just have to end the stream. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So I'm making another white square to go in. It's not actually white, you guys. That's the other thing. This is natural. This is the undyed Pegasus before I add the colours to it. This has been washed to bulk it. I think it could have been washed more, to be honest. It is a dash thinner than the other Pegasus. But it'll do. It'll get washed again and it'll puff up. And I have to keep that in mind. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I got one too many again. Bloop. Go back. Fix it. All right. One is peach and the other is apricot. Thank you, Bob. Yes, that's correct. Leanne says, hey, how lovely. Happy wedding day to you and your family. To Alison. Sally says, I think I have to go and sort this headache of a mess out. Sorry. Oh, no. You've got big stuff on your plate, Sally. I hope you get it fixed. It's so annoying. And I hope it all gets sorted out. Like, good. Like, properly. No chains there. Oh my goodness. You think that with the number of these I've made, I'd learn not to do that. But the answer is no. I'm still doing the things. So this week, we are Dying for Mystery Lace Club. We are shipping out Nancy's Knickknacks goodies. We are playing with some Margicraft tools that have arrived. Did you guys want to see the Margicraft hand cards? They're just right here. If you do, let me know. They're really light, which shocks me because my other hand cards are bad. Well, not that they're not bad. I mean, they're old. I bought them secondhand about 10 years ago, and they've gotten rusty. And so now when I hand card with them, I end up with bits of rust in my stuff, which bugs me. So I've stopped hand carding, which is unfortunate because I love hand carded fibers. Yes, please. All right, let me just get to the corner and I'll reach over and grab them. I'll have to unplug my mic. All right, guys, hang on a sec. That went on the ground, I heard it. Don't step on the microphone. Oh, okay. Let's keep this guy on. Okay. Who's a trader? Darling, she's planning a sewing project instead of joining us in live stream. Ah, all right. I'll definitely be. Oh, and the Turkish spindles. Hang on, I'll grab that while I'm getting over the devastation of Andrea the trader. Andrea the trader. We need to change the name in the chat. All right. So we'll start with the hand combs. Okay. Ooh, that is nice. Come out, little thing. They are light. And I know that the guys who design these have got really big hands and they have no problems with these. And I've got little tiny hands and I need to get some fleece. I'm going to have a play with those. And they've used the same stuff that they used for their blending boards to keep it all nice and neat. They're bamboo, they're super lightweight, they're super strong. 96 TPI, so that's tips per inch. That is actually really nice. That's a good medium TPI. That will work really nicely for merino and angora and alpaca and pretty well anything sort of fine-ish. I probably wouldn't go too coarse in it because they're quite close together, but I don't use anything coarse, so this is perfect for me. How much were they? I don't know. I'm going to have a look up. They're on my website on a pre-order. Yes. Kim, would you mind jumping on and checking out what the hand cards are worth on my website, please? I can't remember. I ordered these ages ago, and it took a little while for my order to come because Marge Craft were having to work out international shipping. I'm just having a look in the chat. Wow, look at the size of them. Yeah, they're a good size. So, kids allowed so many. That's right. A hand card's the brush thingos that brush the fibers. Yeah. So you place your fibers. I'll make a video for it, but you place your fibers and you can brush it out and make it beautiful. Not sure about the handles. Hey, look, me neither until I put my hand on them, and they just feel good because they're actually curved. Can you the wood's curved and the handles are curved. Everything just feels right. Will they do cotton? I mean, they're pretty fine. I'd have to have a go and see. I don't know. Cotton cards are very fine normally. I can't see why these wouldn't. These are quite fine. But yeah, I'd have to have a go and a check. Kim says they're $148 for the pair. So that's actually quite good value as well. These are nice. So they're not just glued in, they're glued and drilled, which is good. So, I like that a lot. Okay, so that's the hand cards. And the spindles aren't up on my website yet. So I'm going to have a check of what they are. Let me just look. So this is the spindle, and it comes in this gorgeous little fabric bag. Okay. I tied this myself the other day, so I probably screwed that up. And it's dark. There you go. You look like you have a good strong grip with those. Yeah, that was the thing, and it could hold it tightly without it hurting. Marge Craft is going back into lockdown. Will that affect New Zealand's going back into lockdown. Will that affect shipping? They haven't said at this stage, but at the moment, even with them shipping as they are, we're having to use FedEx to get any sort of reasonable shipping times. So their usual shipping that they would do for their wheels and their large items would normally take up to about a week. They're taking 3 to 4 weeks at the moment, so we're using FedEx. I'm debating if I use hand cutters or combs. Any advice on which I should use? I have a whole alpaca fleece to do. Okay, so hand cutters and combs make very different fiber prep. Okay, so it depends on what you want to make at the end. So the combs, think of those as you lose about approximately a third of what you're doing, and it gets all the fibers lined up and the same length. Okay, whereas hand cards are better for sort of blending things in, and you can use them for not as much fine stuff, and you can have different lengths of fibers, and it's okay. They make a very different fiber preparation. So I always think of it as if I want to make something that's cream of the crop and that I'm only using the best of the best, I go for combs. Whereas with the hand combs, whereas I tend to card more like fleeces and things like that. But I just want to open out the tips a little bit and create a more sort of woolen lofty yarn, whereas the combs tend to make, and this is just for me, and look around and check what other people's opinions are as well. So the combs tend to make a beautiful worsted preparation. All the fibers are lined up just immaculately. It's a beautiful way to do that. So it really depends on what you want to do. If you've got an entire fleece of alpaca, I would actually be wondering why you don't just flick the tips and open them up and just spin it, honestly. Alpacas don't tend to need as much combing as wool does. So I would literally just grab a flick brush and just flick the tips and open it out that way. Do it outside. They're very dirty. Sue Ellen is asking that next week's session be hand cutting. Well, I mean, that can be done. We might run a poll through the week and we'll check. Okay, so this is all the bits that you get in a little bag for your Turkish spindle. Now, why do you get so many bits? You get one shaft, right? It's so lightweight, it's lovely. But it's so that you can have one spindle with all the different weights. So that's 10 grams. Then you've got 15 grams. There should be some 20s. Here we go, 20. Whoops. And 30. So those of you that you've listened to me prattle on about spindling, lighter spindles make lighter weight yarns, heavier spindles do heavier weight yarns. You can make a heavy spindle do some lighter weight yarns with some judicious swearing, and vice versa. You can make a light spindle do a heavyweight yarn again, but it's generally a good idea to be able to change your weights. And so with these guys, you just slide it on there and slide it on there, and it's just straight up Turkish spindling. These are the spindles that I used when I taught the ply and the fly spindle at the Margicraft camp earlier this year. I can't believe it was just earlier this year. But these are great. And so you get all of this in the bag. I'm just looking up the price. I think I have to download my price list from Margicraft because I haven't put these on my website yet. So I have to log in. Hopefully this isn't destroying our live stream. Downloads. There we go. There's a price list. Okay, let me have a look here. So I'm just looking now through all the things to find our Turkish spindle set. There it is, $73 Australian, and gets you the whole lot. So it's a really good go-to spindle for flexibility, really, and it spins really nicely. Like, I was surprised at how beautifully it spins for the Ply on the Fly workshop. We had spinners of all different levels. I think we all used the 20 grams for the Ply on the Fly. Spinners of all different levels, or spindle spinners of all different levels, were able to make just something beautiful and get it going. So yeah, so that's actually really good value. I had to double like look a second time. I'm like, am I reading the right line? And I am just going to look at it again. It is, this Turkish spindle set is definitely 73. So okay, that's excellent value. All right, I've missed some chat here while I was on the other screen. I'm going back here. Can you mix and match like a 10 and 15? Look, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it because it will no longer be a balanced spin. So you'll have different weights, and everything is all about being centered and having the balanced weight. Also, it means your arms are different lengths, which makes it hard to wrap. So Game Widow says, do I need another spindle? I can't answer that for you, but yes. If you like to work to the very... Ooh, I think I've missed something there. Is that your RRP. No, that's the RRP. That is the Australian RRP. That's $73. That's how much it is. So yeah, that's why I was double checking, Kim. I'm like, what? That's too cheap. It's just so cheap. Like basically for 4 different weights of spindle, you do only get one shaft, so you can only have one going at a time. I wonder if you could order extra shafts. That would be a good question that I should ask Margecraft, shouldn't it? Like, can I order additional shafts? Yeah. And like they've done their own little workaround. So rather than feeding the 2 little arms to each other and then putting the shaft through, they've created a little timber grommet here and made it just so that it just rests on it. And when I was first winding it on, it took a bit of adjusting to the fact that I had this sort of extra. It wasn't through each other; it was on top of each other. But once you got spinning, I didn't even notice it anymore after that. So it's just that bit different. These knitting names are so suggestive. I mean, they are. You're right. Let's not talk about what we do with our Margecraft spinning wheels and how we keep those nice, because that gets really suggestive. Look at this. You could make it into a pretty little tower. And, like this could be really just quite pretty just to display. Yeah, I think that they would sell a shaft as a spare part. I'll ask the question, because it'd be nice to be able to have a couple of these on a go at once, I would think. Yeah, it does get a bit full on sometimes. Yeah, there's a bit of all those words. You could play Battleship with them. You could play Battleship with them. And I like that it comes in a nice little bag as well, and it just makes life that bit easier. Susie Brown actually showed a really nice picture of one of those plastic storage containers, and she had all her parts laid out because, like me, she has a few of these. Like I've got a couple of these. I've got the older version that had like the little hook on the end of the shaft. So now they've gone for the knob on the end of the shaft. So see how they've done this instead? They used to just have it flat with a little hook in it. And I did struggle a little with that because it would catch every now and again, which bugged me. But they've gone with this other style now. So I've got like the old one, I've got this set, and then I've got the version of this set, like the cut down version that they used for the actual workshops. And so I really liked how she set hers up in the thing. It was really cute. You need to take a photo and show it to Lego Bob. Look, she can make a pretty bag for her spindles. Honestly, she doesn't, I missed something. Leslie, what is the best type of wool to get someone who has never used a spindle before? Freaky Geek has an excellent point. You need to double check that they have no allergies. But I would go with something that's not fine merino, honestly. Fine merino is a little bit slipperier. I would go, where are you? So just checking, wait, Leslie, you're in Australia. I would definitely be checking out some Corriedale or something like that. It's just that little bit, it's still soft, but it's a little bit more grippy. Check out Castledale. So that's Wendy Beer's fibre that she's developed. It's this beautiful merino cross Leicester that she has. And so you get the softness, but also a little bit of strength. It's beautiful to spin. I've been spinning some on my wheel at the moment. So yeah, it is definitely a way to, a really nice fibre. And also you can either buy it as raw fleece, or she's selling it in beautiful roving that's hand dyed or natural. So you've got some really good choices. So you need to go out and check out Beer Sheba Farm. So that's where Wendy Beer is, and that's where her Castledale fleeces are. But that's what I would, as long as they can use wool, then that's where I'll go. Ashford hasn't replacement shaft for my. hasn't replaced the shaft for my drop spindle. That's okay because, you know, it's firewood now. That's my feels. I'll have a sip of my drink. Oh, excuse me. Spanish Chicks popped in a link for Beersheba. Thank you. Wendy's stuff is amazing, honestly. You can't go wrong with it. And Wendy, all of Wendy's stuff is has the Fiber Collective mark, which means that she farms in Australia, obviously. And then she also has all of her fibers are processed 100% in Australia. They do not leave Australia for any of their processing steps. And so that's another really nice thing to do and support as well. Okay, so I want to have another little white one here. Does anyone have any more questions on the spindles or on the hand cards? The tea looks yummy. The tea is yummy, I have to say. Yeah, and I don't add sugar to my tea or coffee, and this just has a little bit of a natural sweetness to it. But yeah, I really like it. It's super helpful to get me through live streams. It keeps my voice going, even though, you know, sometimes my brain is not. So yeah, that's a problem the tea can't fix, is my brain. Oh dear. Okay, we are nearly at the end of this round. I've got one more to do before I can join him on. And then I've got to go and unpack my box of Nancy's Knickknacks goodies and get those orders out in the post. Kim, you're poking the bear. It does not taste like licorice. It is licorice legs tea. Go to the webcam. Face cam. See, you two can have a blank square. Actually, can I show you the artwork here without tilting my tea out? It's got the same square as my face over here, and it's black. Face cam, you can get these mugs from Redbubble. Guys, terrible. Kim is probably the worst. Now, we have nearly made it as a 2-hour live stream today, and I really appreciate you guys all hanging out and you know, being here for it. Kim has been on my case for some time about 2-hour live streams. They've not really been on my radar, but I think we might be able to pull it off. Hi, Nikki, welcome to the chat. I love licorice legs tea. Me too. Me too. And it, like, you've had it. It does not taste like licorice, does it? Like, at all. Not even remotely aniseedy. Like, if someone hadn't told you it was licorice legs tea, you would not know that it was from the licorice root. Like, if they did not use that word, the L word, you would never know. You'd never know. So I'm going to pop this guy here into this corner down here when it's all done, so that this edge is a bottom edge and we know it. And then I can stop. I've been on your case about more than 2-hour streams. You have, yes. Yes, you have. No, not aniseed. I don't like aniseed. So, see, for me, I love aniseed and I love licorice. I've got no problems with them. But this is not that. This is not that flavor at all. This is just a really nice, light tea. I don't know how to describe it, really. What kind of flavor? Enigmata says that they like the longer streams as well. Thank you, Enigmata. I think we'll try again for next week. I won't promise, but I'll try to make the longer streams regular now. Rather than 90-minute streams, we'll have 2-hour streams every week. And I'll try and plan it in. I think I've got an appointment booked after a stream one day. So any future appointments, I'll make sure I do not book them in any early. I'm not a fan of anise. It's a weird numbing feeling. Yeah, I don't know if this would have that weird numbing feeling for you. It has none of the flavor, like zero of that anise flavor. It's just, I don't know. Tell you, it feels very nice on my throat. It coats my vocal cords and makes it easier for me to continue talking. in these live streams. Now, if you are a Patreon, a Fiberific, keep an eye on your Patreon email. There'll be some information coming out soon of a Patreon-only Zoom, so we can all hang out together. Kim says, I have mail at the post office, but also pudding balls coming to the house. If I leave to get the stuff from the post office, what's the bet the pudding balls will come? Like, I'm not taking that bet. You will absolutely get pudding ball turn up. And then they'll either card you, and then you'll have to go to the post office again, or they'll leave them on the doorstep and some sneaky neighbour kid will come and steal them and eat all your pudding balls. Like, I think you just need to stay at home until your courier comes. Forever. Like, your kids can get themselves home from school, eh? You don't need to go out and do a school run or anything, right? Oh, dear. All right, I'm nearly at the end here. There we go. I'm just going to have a quick count, double check. I've 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and one more there is 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, cool. Pudding balls. Rebecca wants to know about pudding balls. Rebecca, pudding balls are these things that we get at Bendigo, right? And it's basically, I would say, like little handful amounts of pudding, like think Christmas pudding, but all different types of pudding. So, and then they're rolled into a ball or squished into a ball. They're not too compact. They're actually amazing. I don't know how anyway, they make the pudding into a little ball. I'm not sure how they do it without it being compacty and gross, but it's delicious. And then they dip that ball in chocolate, and then they'll drizzle the different pudding fillings with the different chocolate things, so you can read the label and you know that one's going to be the orange and whatever. Hubby is home but in Zoom meetings. Does that mean he won't answer the door, Kim? Anyway, the pudding balls come in like batches, and you get all different flavors of puddings. Like there's 4 or 5 different flavors of puddings, and they are amazing. But they're really big and they're chunky, and they're just like you can have a good few bites out of it, and they're very nice. I like them a lot. So much. I really need to put an order in too, Kim. So the lady that we normally get them from at Bendigo has started selling the pudding balls online, which is great because she didn't used to. And that means we can all have pudding balls. All right, I'm going to start here so I can come around there. Okay, you need to. This first one here is awkward because of how we pull the loop through. It twists in here a little. If I was an end stitch, where would I be? I would be in the wrong spot for a start. Hang on a second. If I do there, then I have to go around there. Oh, this is annoying. All right, hang on a second. I've got to think about this. No. If I do there, that one first, then I can flip up and do that one. Okay, I'm sorted. I don't know if I can rely on him to answer. That's your answer right there, Kim. That's your answer. Like, does he know it's pudding balls? Like, because like your husband likes the pudding balls as much as you and I do, right? You just say, look, I'm waiting for the pudding ball delivery. The doorbell goes. Can you answer it? Would he run out? Like mine would just be like running to the gate, like he'd beat the dog. For pudding balls. For anything else, maybe not so, but for pudding balls, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, let's see if we've got this. This one, and the second one. Alrighty. Let's go and get this done. Okay. You don't know if you, I don't know the answer to the question, Kim. I would not leave the house until the pudding balls arrive, but that is me. I also don't leave the house if I know a chow goo order is on its way either. So, oh, he came out fast for stroop waffles. Do you know, I had to hide the last sort of packet in the box of stroopwafels because they were just being wolfed down at an amazing rate of knots. And I'm just like, I don't even know when I'm going to be able to get stroopwafels again. And you guys are eating them like I can just go to Woolies and buy more. And Tim's like, but you can just go to Woolies and buy more. And I'm like, yeah, but not in these big Uber packs. Okay, that's there. Then go like this and go around the corner. It's confusing because they're quite similar colors. Chagu orders are like receiving gold bars. Yes, absolutely. You just don't go out. You make sure you're home for those things. I ordered so many cables this week and I can't wait to get them. Oh, I hope they come for you quickly. Where are you, Enigmata? Like, what sort of postal system are you relying on? You can go to Costco and buy more until they run out, and then you have to wait months. Oh my gosh. Is there a homemade version of pudding ball? If there is, I might have to try and make some. I'm sure there would be. I mean, I don't. It'd just be like making pudding, but in smaller scale amounts. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they made large puddings and then just mushed it up and made them into balls. Enigma's in the US, so you're relying on USPS, and it's not doing that great at the moment over there, is it? Well, I hope it comes sooner rather than later. Oh, what have I done here? Where's my corner? 1, 2. There's the corner there. No, I just want to get to this corner. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I get it. I hate it when the postal system's not being your friend. All right, there we go. We have one square edge, and I'll be doing a little border on it, so you know, I'll pick all these stitches up and pull them out a bit squarer and stuff, and they'll even out a bit more. And they'll look beautiful. I'm so excited. Why are you kicking off? What have you done? You just need more buddies. Okay, let's hide the ends under here so it looks more finished than it is. All right, my lovely friends, I'm going to head off. I've got some jobs I've got to get done. It has been wonderful having you all hang out in the live stream today while I worked on this and we checked out the hand combs and the Margacraft turkey spindle. I will also be making some videos using both of those standalone videos. In the upcoming, I'm not going to give a time frame because I might be a liar. So I will catch you all next week for our live stream, if not beforehand, in a Zoom chat or over in the Fiberific Fun Zone. So have a wonderful week and be safe and be kind and you know, keep doing the right thing. Bye.